one. But, we'll get to that a little bit later in the hour. But Game 5 of the Cup Final, I was off doing panel work. He'll be back here momentarily. Still, I haven't seen anything on Matthew Tkachuk. We had Johnny on earlier this hour. Johnny seemed to suggest he thought he'd play, but he's a wounded warrior right now, man. I'm not expecting much.
Even if he's 70%, you'll take a 70% of Matthew Tkachuk, but he's not going to be as effective. And, who knows? Adrenaline will get going once he gets into the game. But if it's something structural, what it does look like, I don't know. Again, I'm not a doctor and I don't know what that diagnosis is. But if it's his shoulder, something, he's not going to be able to give contact and absorb contact the way. That's part of what makes him effective, is getting to the front of the net, punishing people, taking punishment. And if he's not 100%, that's really tough for Florida, because Florida, they haven't had many difference makers. We were talking about Duclair, Reinhart. They've been very, very quiet. Down that lineup is very, very quiet. And you're going to rely on even Montour. Montour scored, but he hasn't been his dominant self from the back end. And, with Florida, they've got to have basically kind of a situation mentally where it's like, leave it all out there tonight.
Right.
It's do or die anyways, so why not be loose and just go and have fun? And if you have the puck bounces your way, you feel good early in the game. But I do agree with Johnny. If Vegas gets up by 2, it's over. Vegas will shut it down.
The way they play, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm kind of anticipating a low-scoring, kind of grinded-out, mucky type game tonight. I wouldn't be shocked at all if this was a 3-1 game tonight, something like that.
I can't imagine, knowing that this is going to be the last game of the season potentially, and all you have to do is have the hardest working game you've ever. You may not get some puck luck, but those Vegas players are like, I will do anything to win tonight. That's all you need to do, is do anything you can to win tonight. Blocking shots, taking a punch in the face. That's one thing everyone's talked about, is Florida's discipline. And, their power play is stunk. It's 0 for 13. 0 for 13 in the finals.
Right.
Where Vegas is 6 for 18, so they're 33%. So they're taking the punches. They're drawing penalties, and they're making Florida pay. Bob has to have a game as well, too. Yeah. He's got to play well. So
no question. That's been their blueprint in a lot of ways. That's why they're in the position they're in. But they're in a hole. I'm certainly leaning Vegas tonight. You got to pay a lot of juice, on FanDuel. You're paying -200 for Golden Knights to win tonight. But I would not be surprised at all if they won again 3-1 tonight, maybe 4-1 empty netter late. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. But we'll get to that again a little bit later on with our best bets. Brought to you by FanDuel. Also get to our U.S. Open picks a little bit later on. But it's a Tuesday around 6:05. Let's fire up Confirm or Deny.
Let's do it.
I can neither confirm or deny that this is in fact a segment.
Austin trades Andrew Raycroft to Toronto in exchange for the rights to Tuukka Rask.
It's been my honor and a privilege to serve as the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey Club.
It's time for Confirm or Deny.
Do you regret giving all those gentlemen the no trades or no movement clauses?
I can neither confirm or deny that.
I can't confirm or deny.
All right, Confirm or Deny, brought to you by Don Valley North Lexus. Right now, lease the redesigned 2023 RX 350 F Sports Series 1 from just $398 bi-weekly for 24 months. Visit DonValleyNorthLexus.com for all of the details. All right, let's assume the Cup gets handed out tonight. We start rolling over to the 2023-2024 season. Confirm or deny, one of the Florida Panthers or the Vegas Golden Knights will miss the playoffs next season. One of them will miss.
Now I don't know. Yeah,
I'm confirming it. I'm
just thinking about it.
I'm saying Florida. I think they miss.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think they might have a better regular season next year than they did.
Maybe.
Maybe. They had 92 points. But the thing is, the teams around them.
That's what I'm saying.
The teams around them, Ottawa, Detroit, Buffalo, they're all sniffing too. Mm-hmm. But there might be some regression here. Like there might be a regression from, some of the teams that did make the playoffs this year, Islanders, teams like that. But
sure.
I'm going to deny it because I think both those teams can be playoff teams, but you're making me think about it because, I actually think that Florida might have a better regular season next year, but maybe bow out in the playoffs.
Sure, that would probably – I understand where you're coming from on that. I lean Florida. Like, I'm going to confirm it. But, like, Vegas, let's say they win a cup. A little cup hangover wouldn't be shocking with the number of guys who are injury-prone on that team, what their goaltending situation looks like over 82 games as opposed to, them playing the way that they've been playing, defending the way they've been defending. You can't do that every night in the regular season. It just does not happen. It's way looser hockey, way more turnover, way more, opportunity for the opposition.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it, but it just – I'm betting against it thinking both of these teams.
It's tough to see it now. They're both in the Cup Final. Like, they're both obviously the two elite teams right now in the NHL.
Yeah.
But the sports is crazy, man. Every year there's strange things pop up. Yeah. And I'm going to lean towards conventional wisdom here, suggesting that will happen to one of these two guys.
Yeah.
Confirm or deny, Brooks Koepka will finish ahead of Rory McIlroy this week, the U.S. Open. Brooks and Rory. I think they're playing together, too, aren't they? Are they paired together Thursday, Friday?
Rory was just okay at the RBC. Like he was
terrible on Sunday. That was back-to-back weeks, just like at the Memorial the week before. He just kind of shut her down on Sunday.
But I thought we all assumed, when we signed off on Friday at 7 o'clock, from the Open, we're all like, well, Rory's probably going to be there on Sunday. Like it looked like he was trending in that direction. Mm-hmm. And then he just never was a factor. There was just bigger storylines. Harry Higgs even, like, he made a bunch of noise. And,
he kind of faded, man. Harry really,
like
he was camouflage on Sunday.
Exactly. So, Koepka, yeah, I can see it. Like I'm
confirming it too.
I'm confirming it too. Like Koepka's, it's interesting because right now Rory looks like, and maybe I'm wrong, but from the outside he looks like a distracted athlete. Like he just doesn't look 100% dialed into his game, what he's capable of.
I agree, and he hasn't won a major, I believe, since 2014. I think
long
it
time,
is. 9 years.
Yeah.
Oh, you're back here. Confirm or deny, Brooks Koepka will finish ahead of Rory McIlroy this week.
100% confirm. I wouldn't be shocked if he won it. Maybe he goes on another heater where he's the guy at the majors. It seemed like, wasn't it a couple years in a row where it was like PGA, U.S. Open, it was Koepka. He's healthy now. He was dominant in Rochester at Oak Hill. I wouldn't be shocked if he won the tournament.
I wouldn't be either. He's done that twice now. He's gone back-to-back, I believe, at the U.S. and the PGA multiple times.
The question is the golf course. It seems like that big golf course with the long par fours in like the nasty rough. It's like Shinnecock, he did it. He did it at Oak Hill. Aaron Hills, I don't know what the rough was like, but this golf course doesn't seem like a traditional U.S. Open course. It looks really cool, but I don't.
Really cool.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it. If it favors like the bomber, I don't know. So the golf course, if it's one of those tricky ones, I don't know how that plays into his play. But I wouldn't be shocked to see him win the golf tournament.
Yeah, and I was saying before you came on, like Rory just doesn't look dialed into exactly what he's capable of. When we signed off Friday, I think we all assumed he was going to be there on Sunday, and he faded off. Like it just, he never really dominated on that Sunday when he needed to.
No kidding, and everybody keeps looking at him. It's like he drives the golf ball better than anyone in the world when he's on, but he can't hit a 54-degree wedge to 15 feet. So it's a weird thing with him. But let's not write the guy off. If he's dialed in, he could win going away.
No one would be surprised if he won at all. But I'm confirming this as well. It's a clean sweep. Like Koepka, I fully expect to be in contention. Like if he's healthy and ready to play, I really am looking forward to seeing this course. Though it looks like a really cool course.
Dude, it's a weekend trip, Hazy. L.A. Country Club and Riv.
Yes, that's a dream. And although you gotta be buddies with like Mark Wahlberg to play the two of them.
Dude, I can make it happen.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
By the way, I reached out to the guy at Royal Montreal on Twitter. He hasn't responded yet. I'm trying to get you out there tomorrow.
I wouldn't worry about it. I'm not sure it's going to happen at this point. It's all good. It's all good. Thank you for that, though. Confirm or deny, a Canadian will finish inside the top 5 this week at the U.S. Open.
Canadian finishes at the top 5 at the U.S. Open. I'm going to confirm it. Maybe your boy, Tricky Nicky, is just feeling the vibe. He's not afraid of the big moment. He played with Scheffler and Rahm at the final round in Arizona at the Waste Management. Just won. He might be gassed. A lot of times after a player wins, if they're not Tiger Woods, they're a little bit gassed the next week. Corey Connors, can he ball strike his way again around that golf course? I don't know. I'm going to confirm it. I'm going to confirm it, man.
Yeah, I think recency bias, I'm right there. I'm confirming it. I just pretty excited about it. I think, and it might energize the whole Canadian group that was there,
Sure. You would hope that everyone's inspired.
Right.
I'm going to be considered a hater here. I'm going to deny this because
that is a hater comment.
It is, but top 5 at a U.S. Open, man, it's incredibly difficult to accomplish when you talk. And I love obviously the way Nick Taylor plays, and it was an incredibly cool story. That was at the height of heights, and he's probably still partying. I think it's very difficult to dial it back in for a U.S. Open. Connors, what he does on Sunday recently has scared me. Mac has been in and out. I think Hadwin's the guy I would almost look at as someone who might lurk. We'll get to those picks later on, but I definitely expect multiple Canadians making the cut. But top 5, that's, you're talking Scheffler, Rahm, Koepka, McIlroy, Max Homa, who knows that course well and is an LA guy, loves winning in California.
I'm going to also dump on one of your other theories. If a Canadian wins the U.S. Open this week, it's bigger than last week.
Really?
So you can take that.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I don't believe so on home. I don't think that's the case.
Dude,
in Canada.
The U.S. Open?
Yeah.
Get serious.
I got you. Around the world, it's bigger. Without question, around the world, it's bigger. In the States, it's bigger. For that individual player, it's bigger.
Let's just go big picture. In the world, okay?
Yeah,
Think about that. In the world.
I don't operate big picture. I operate on the micro. And from a micro perspective, in Canada, that Nick Taylor putt, I'm sorry, man, we'll see. Let's cross that bridge when we get to it. If it happens, hopefully it does, then we can really break that down. The ultimate hypothetical. Incredible that Canadian golf. We're talking about this with a serious face.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we're actually,
serious.
debating something. We're like, we can see that happening. Confirm or deny. The Maple Leafs should seriously pursue Connor Hellebuck.
Dude, this is one of those ones where I'm 100% confirming it, but I also know it's so far-fetched. The idea of it happening, just the way things are set up. And that's what bothers me about just the big it's just you can't do much. The flexibility, I don't know if it's there. So I don't know if it could happen, but it's 100% confirmed. Anybody should try to approach getting that goaltender.
Right. I think I agree. I confirm it that you should pursue. But again, what is the ask? What does a contract extension look like? And you could probably swing it if Tavares only had 1 year left on his deal, then that 11 comes off, right? That's, but I think Tavares has 2 left on his deal, and so there's 11 of that following year. But I think you have to explore it and to see what Winnipeg would want in an asking price, and then, you try and make the numbers work on the back end of it. But I think you've got to be in at least the conversation, because let me ask you guys this: what's Samsonov going to want?
Well, that's
RFA.
the thing. Well, and you also Matt Murray's still in the books.
4.8. And he could get bought out.
Yeah, it can, but then you're penalized this year and next. Not overly punitive number, but still.
Right, 672 next year, I think. So.
Right, which that is relatively low, Right. But the next year, what is it, like $2 million or something?
It's $2 million. Yeah.
So that, if need be, that's what has to happen, right? Regardless, it's funny how what goes around comes around. Lou left a drag bunt in Patrick Marleau for Dubas that he had to clean up. And now Dubas has left this situation for the next guy in Trey Living. But just like Dubas had to do it, the same thing might have to happen here with Matt Murray. If you have to buy it out, you have to.
Right.
But, yeah, I'm going to confirm it because I also think – everything has to be on the table, and the idea of moving off the core 4 in some capacity, that's what this would signal. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, obviously, and there are 30 other teams in the league that are allowed to pursue them as well. Winnipeg's not just going to cut a deal for the Leafs for the sake of it. But I think the idea of being serious about change would include looking at a guy like Connor Hellebuck.
Well, and I'll throw one more thing in there.
I think it's mandatory they do that.
Yeah, you throw one more thing in. The hand might be forced based on William Nylander's ask. Like, if he just comes in and says, like, this is what I believe my comparables are, this is what I would like to make, and they just can't work it out, I think Brad Treliving's staring at another Johnny Gaudreau situation where you can't allow him to play without a deal, or you have to make a decision sooner than later. I don't know. Again, I'm just speculating, but you got to figure out exactly what it's going to take to get Matthews under contract, to get Nylander, and find out if you can work with that moving forward. If not, then you've got to have Nylander in
Wouldn't
play.
That be incredible? Like, I don't anticipate a Matthews and Nylander kind of joint statement on July 1st. They've both agreed to extensions. I can't imagine that would happen. But if it ever did, like, what would the reaction be? It's like, all right, Matthews is back, Nylander's back, Tavares isn't going anywhere. I guess Mitch is coming back. You're like, all right, we're just going to keep going here. They're bringing the band back. Let's see what we got. And not only bringing it back for an extended period of time.
Right. But you know this. We all love Morgan Rielly, but maybe that's somewhere where you circle and go, he's part of the core.
Sure.
Correct?
He's the longest standing player
but
on the team.
He has, I believe, a full no move.
I think so. $7.5 million a year. He was a UFA coming up. I'm sure he got everything he was asking for. I don't recall the details, but
I just think they need somebody. They need a top tier defenseman to play with Morgan, like a 1, and Morgan's a 1A. Like, make him a 1A, or that type of stuff.
Sure.
Like that's the way I would look at it. But again, easier said than done. Who's available out there? Who's available right now that the Leafs can put their hand up and go, okay, we're in on that defenseman. I just don't know.
It was probably Severson, maybe Provorov, and O's Blue Jackets, swept both of them up already.
Go Jackets.
Yeah. Go Jackets.
Exactly.
Confirm or deny, Fred VanVleet will return to the Raptors on a long-term deal.
I'm going to deny this one. I don't know. I kind of got the vibe from him that maybe he wants to explore something else, which is kind of crazy with the old bet on yourself, won a championship, got a massive 3-year contract. I believe it was 3 years. Mm-hmm. But it just seemed like the look on his face doing some pressers where he would welcome the idea of going somewhere else. I'm just going literally by his facial expressions and the way he looked like.
Wow.
And you said he was going to just he wasn't going to take the player option regardless. That's just what players do.
No, it was never going to happen.
But I honestly just got the sense of watching him. He got a little bit tired of everything last year, and I don't know if a new coach would change that. But I just got a feeling that he might welcome something different.
I agree. I think he's gone. I don't know why. You pointed to the body language. Every day he had to speak for that team last year. Every day. I had to come out and talk about it. And I still get a sense, bringing Darko in, like they might be in a rebuild scenario. So it might be, sign and trades type of scenario, get what you can for him. I don't know. I'm not convinced he's coming back.
No, I mean, Darko said last hour how important he is in terms of the culture setting, what he brings. They have absolutely no depth at that position, none.
Right.
Whatsoever. Malachi Flynn's not going to do it. Delano Banton, I don't know where he comes into play. But, if Fred leaves, then you've got to address that via different avenues. But I'm gonna deny it as well, because I think VanVleet is going to look for a different situation and possibly look, for a better opportunity to win. So it does feel like he's wired that way. I believe he loves it here. He should love it here. They've treated him incredibly well. If he stays, they'll pay him. Like, that'll be a commitment. The Raptors understand what they're bringing back. But, it's difficult to get a read on what they're going to do. Like in terms of whether or not they try to stay competitive, think they're close. Because if it's a rebuild, retool, then Fred's gone. Mm-hmm.
Maybe what Harden decides to do is a factor in what happens with him as well.
Yeah, where is Houston available? Is Philly available? Yes, that's another thing. If you go to Philly in some capacity and team back up with Nick Nurse, I wouldn't be surprised at all. In fact, I'd almost lean towards that being a definite possibility. Confirm or deny, in 10 years, there will be less review in sports than there is currently now. Today.
Absolutely not. No. Absolutely not.
There is going to be
way
Jimmy
more.
Butler. How
way
stupid
more.
that was.
Yeah, but you know what's going to happen, guys? I think we're going to get to, you mentioned 10 years. I think AI is going to be involved. I think it's going to be, but the reviews will be quicker. Like, I think they will have technology.
Dude, there might be robots running around NBA courts and behind plates. Those robots that you see, they're going to be making strike call. I'm telling you.
So they got to make a judgment call on whether
you know those
Jimmy
white
Butler...
robots you see that they're like everyone's afraid of? They're jumping on stuff. I'm telling you, they're going to be wheeling out on sport courts, calling games.
Yeah, I feel like technology is going to be so much. Like, think of 10 years of technology. What's going to be available. Like, we're not going to be able to, like, 100% that we'll be able to tell when a puck crosses the line because there's going to be some form of technology that goes, that's over the line. Don't even think about it. It's in. Like, that's it.
Right, but that's why, you know what, I'm going to confirm this because then you don't need to review. Like, the technology will allow for less review because you don't have to waste your time.
But I think my point is however you want to phrase it, everything will be reviewed because they'll be able to instantaneously, like through technology, it'd be like, that's a penalty, that's not a penalty, that's
I don't think you can do that with subjective calls. Like, how is a robot going to make a call on whether or not Jimmy Butler stuck his leg out last night?
What about this, Hazy? Would you be opposed to this?
It's a judgment call.
There's a robot arm on the ump behind the plate, and it knows if it's a strike, and the robot arm goes up on
That's different. I personally, I don't want that. I don't need it, but I understand it's coming, and it's it's black or white. It's fair or foul, strike or ball, right? And everyone will be held to the same standard. What I'm saying is you can't do that with a hooking call. You can't do it with a foul or a charge. Like, it's subjective. Or else you're going to call everything. That's not
but there's
happen.
people bitching every night saying that penalty should be reviewable. Can't have that penalty. People want everything reviewed.
Yeah,
everything.
Wrong. And they're stupid, and it shouldn't happen.
What I'm saying is that right now, and I'm not privy to it, everywhere you turn, it's AI. So this Chat GPT, or hey, I saw on Bar Down, AI do the jerseys for all the 7 Canadian teams. Like to me, there is going to be technology involved. And you mentioned, the Jimmy Butler kick there. I don't know if that was a call or not.
The robot can't determine that.
But
although the robot, I would probably have more faith in getting it right because it was ridiculous that they didn't reverse that call.
But that's what I'm saying is the robot will have the know-how. They're going to be thinking like humans 10 years from now, so they're going to go, that's a call, and they'll have no emotion about it.
Right.
They're not going to sit and argue with it.
Sure, but it'll still be a judgment call then, so you're still going to get the same reaction. People are going to just say the robot's a moron instead of the ump.
Well, but then you can blame the robot, like that idiot robot.
Exactly, but then it's still the same problem. It's still, people are going to look at it and say the robot got it right or wrong. I hear what you're saying. Speaking of which, I read today that Paul McCartney's saying they're going to come out with another Beatles song using artificial intelligence to represent like John Lennon and I guess George Harrison.
Yeah.
Like, that is wild.
Maybe he could redo his set at the Super Bowl and I'll watch it.
You'd prefer the fake Paul McCartney over
what if you had a robot
McCartney?
McCartney sitting there playing, Hey Jude?
That's what I'm going to do to you someday. When that is available to me, I'm going to purchase the AI version of Paul McCartney and send them to your house. 2 a.m. with a piano.
Sitting on his front lawn.
No, you're not doing that.
Oh, I absolutely
I'll tackle a fake artificial intelligence robot with a piano on my front lawn.
Fill your boots. All right. Confirm that I brought to you by Don Valley North Lexus. Right now, lease the redesigned 2023 RX 350F Sports Series 1 from just $298 biweekly for 24 months. Visit DonValleyNorthLexus.com for all of the details. Yeah, you gotta be careful with that AI, man.
I'm telling you, it
gets
is
too
the
far,
way of the world.
That's gonna get gonna get silly, man. We're moving it's got to be stopped at some point.
But you're hearing like people like, I went to a wedding. You punch in the Chat GPT and it spit out the bridesmaid's speech. The groomsman's speech. Like you just.
Jamie, I don't even know what Chat GPT is, and I don't even care, and I'm never finding out. I'm never finding out.
It is. it's scary what is going on here, like the amount of information that's moving forward.
But we'll see how far it really goes. Like I know I'm like you. I've read all about it where it's like this is going to change the world. It could. It very well could. Maybe it's already established that. But I don't know. Like there's still a lot of programming that has to be included. There's still certain things ChatGPT can't do. And at some point there needs to be some barriers put up because you're already seeing with like students, right? Like it's what is a PhD worth if ChatGPT can write your thesis, you know?
Yeah. I don't know how you would
that's
be
terrifying.
able to stop from cheating.
Like someday you're going to be in there. It's like you're going in for heart surgery, and some guy's a doctor because of ChatGPT doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and you're like, how did you get that piece of paper? Did you ChatGPT your way to this surgery?
You mean like their diploma on the wall?
Right.
I don't know.
Do you have any?
Maybe when you're back Monday,
history?
Hazy, we do like fake GPT, whatever the stupid thing is, sports takes. And we just say, I would take that or not take it.
Yes. Or, you know what we can do is ask ChatGPT how it feels about our show. Like, how would they describe the three of us?
Have you seen, though?
Do we really want to go down that road?
I don't think we do, but someone's going to do it now. Now that I've blurted that out, it's happening.
Big time. But there is a lot of people judging it because it's more, I believe, left-leaning than right-leaning, so it won't give opinions on political forums, all of that type of stuff. But it's interesting. People are trying to press it into, will you talk about Donald Trump? Will you talk about Joe Biden? And it's really interesting. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to ask them about OverDrive and if they get a valid answer.
I don't know, but at the minimum, we can get some takes. Right, we can get some takes spat out, and we can yes GPT or no GPT.
No, we're
yes,
not.
Yes, we can. That's totally allowed.
No, we're not.
That's allowed.
No, it's not.
Yes, GPT.
Yeah.
Or no GPT.
I love it.
Very, very open and allowed, and within the framework
Don't
of what
do
is
that
available
to me.
out there.
Do not.
Our best bets brought to you by FanDuel later in the hour. Some guy just called us a boomer. That's great. I've never been called a boomer. I'm 40, and now I'm a boomer. That's awesome. We're boomers. We made it. We're officially boomers because of our takes on robots and AI. So it's all good.
AI is the future. I'm telling you, it's everywhere.
Well, you better watch yourself, Noodles. Better watch yourself. We don't want it to get too carried away. All right, our best bets brought to you by FanDuel still to come. Our U.S. Open picks still to come as well. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 2. All right, OverDrive continues, brought to you by FanDuel. Get to our SGP for the U.S. Open a little bit later in the hour. And it's almost go time. Still a couple days away. Late starts, right, because they're on the West Coast. That means, I think, going in like Thursday and Friday,
golf.
They're going to be playing late. They'll be playing at 9, 10 o'clock Eastern time. So I'm a fan of West Coast majors.
Oh, me too. The best is Hawaii.
Hawaii is. You're watching at 11 o'clock. You're watching guys roll in putts on 18.
Yeah.
Kapalua.
Beautiful thing.
Yeah. Rolf is just right in his element.
There's no one more horny on the Golf Channel than Mark Rolfing in Hawaii because he's like, that rock over there is from the Hanawala Lulau, and it means it's going to be a sunny day tomorrow.
He throws the break. It's so smooth, too, right? He's like, we're here in Wale. Just like, all right, Rolf. Thanks, pal. All right, so OverDrive PGA picks, of course, are brought to you by our friends at TaylorMade Golf and the all-new TaylorMade Stealth 2. So let's get a TaylorMade pick out of the way, a Canadian out of the way, and then probably a 5-pack beyond that, right? Or maybe, do we still do a live pick? Like, we probably should have discussed this before. I guess live is still around.
Sure. We can do a live pick, but it's probably going to be incorporated anyway, right?
Right. At some point, it likely will be. So let's go TaylorMade, Canada, live, and then maybe a 5-pack.
I'll give you the first TaylorMade pick.
All right. I'll take Scotty Scheffler. You know it. It's got to be Scheffler. I mean, he's plus 700 right now to win outright. The guy is a mortal lock to finish top 10. It feels like it anyway, and I fully expect he's in contention. So I will take Scotty Scheffler.
Dude, it's amazing what that guy's doing without being able to putt.
Mm-hmm. Like, scares me.
Crazy. My TaylorMade guy is going to be Rory.
Ooh. Thought you'd go off the beaten path there, but okay, you'll take McIlroy. He'll make
due.
the cut. Yeah,
He's
he'll
due.
likely make the cut. You never know.
Right to your live pick.
Right to live. I'll give you the first pick for live. I got the first Taylor. I know who you're going to take.
Kepka.
Yeah. You know who I'm going to take? That sneaky little devil, Cam Smith. I like this. It feels kind of like
he's been fading a lot, though.
Yeah.
Like since
he
the
feels
British
like
Open
he got the
win.
money and stopped playing. Like
yes,
that's admittedly it scares me, but he's also so good, and his putting is so phenomenal that if he's in it and gets hot, he can close. He can absolutely close. All right, Canadian. I'll go first.
Yes.
I ain't take my boy Nick Taylor. All right.
It's greasy.
What
dude.
I said last, I did say I think he's going to be really overwhelmed.
You just said
with all the
5 minutes
emotions.
ago this guy's gas. He's got nothing.
I think I'm concerned that he will be, but I still think he has to be the first Canadian picked, right? Because he can win it. Like if he's in contention, I believe he's got ice in his veins, and he can.
All right.
Win it. So I'll take Nick Taylor.
I'm sticking with my boy Mackenzie Hughes. I think he's going to rebound, and he's going to be great this week.
Okay. So here we go. Quick 5-pack. You all good with this, Noodles? 5-pack
I'm ready to
of
rock.
picks.
Yep.
Everyone ready to rock? Who's on the clock here?
I'm going to go first here,
Okay.
and I'm going to take a guy who shot 61 in college on this golf course. He was born in Los Angeles, and his name is Max Homa.
Yeah, that's a good pick, man. All he does when he wins, it's in California. He doesn't win anywhere else. Like literally, I don't think anywhere else. He loves winning in California. He loves L.A. Country Club. He's an L.A. guy. That's a good pick. That leaves me with Rahm, and it's mandatory at this point, right? Like John Rahm.
All right.
It's a mandatory pick. If he's on a table, you got to pounce on it. So I'll take John Rahm.
I'm going to take Justin Thomas. I don't know where his why you don't like that, or are you jealous?
He's way down the list in terms of odds. Like I'm talking way down the list. He's at 48-1 on FanDuel. Like they are suggesting that this guy, of course he's got a chance.
Man, FanDuel owns me, but they don't totally own me. Okay?
Listen, it doesn't mean anything. Those are good odds. Like if anything, I would say put a sprinkle on JT because he knows how to win. Clearly. I don't think that's a bad pick at all. All right, I'm going to take another guy from L.A. who's waiting to win a major. And all of his statistics point to him being in contention.
Guarantee this guy's not from L.A.
He's got a new caddy, relatively new. He is slow as molasses. Patrick Cantlay. Believe he's from L.A. He's certainly a Southern
you hate
California
this guy, and you take him all the time.
Because you look at it, it's all strokes gained is what is a big part of the discussion. You know that in golf. Everything's stroke gain, stroke gain, stroke gain. And there's a certain number of guys who are kind of in a contention, and he's one of those guys. Also, I believe 17 of the last 23 U.S. Open winners, first-time winners, first-time major winners. Cantlay's too good. I think he's going to get one at some point. I think it's a good pick, Cantlay.
You talk about a guy who you say is going to – this is the last time. Because it seems like overhype, underdeliver, and this guy's name pops up as a favorite in every major, and this is the last time I'm doing it. Xander Schauffele.
Okay. I'm going to go with another guy who has been in contention a lot. He's won a big tournament recently. Rick Hovland. Victor Hovland.
I thought you were going to say Fowler.
I actually like Ricky to be in the mix. I will tell you about that later on. How many picks have we had here? 3 apiece?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
we keep
3.
rocking here.
No, we're not going to
dude,
15
we
guys.
keep rocking because I have a bunch of people. Can I just name off a 3-pack and then I'm done?
What?
No, because
with no
what if
snaking?
Hayes
All right,
wants
you know what?
that?
Go ahead. I'm going to give you that opportunity.
Okay.
That allows me to breathe, and then I got a 3-pack pick of the litter here.
Dustin Johnson, another guy that's familiar with Los Angeles, and he could sneak up and win one of these. Jordan Spieth.
Okay.
This guy is legit. And here's a guy from my home country that always seems to be sniffing like a hog at majors. And his name is Shane Lowry.
Shane Lowry. Okay, Shane Lowry. Okay. I don't mind those picks. Yeah. That leaves me with a quick 3-pack before we're out of here. I'm going to take last year's winner, Matt Fitzpatrick.
Oh, good pick.
Fitzy, I think, could do some damage again at L.A. He loves tough tracks. He played pretty well this past week, but kind of faded on the weekend. I'm going to take my boy Tommy Fleetwood too. I want Nick Taylor and Tommy Fleetwood going into this week. Tommy Fleetwood.
FaceTime him. Yeah.
I think I might actually do that. And you know who I'm going to take with my last pick? Ricky Fowler. Ricky Fowler, who's been really good on tour this year. Legitimately good. I think if he's in contention, the crowd will get behind him. Raucous crowds out there in L.A. They love
each
Ricky.
have 9 golfers.
You want that
9
cheater,
guys?
Patrick Reed, and I'll take Keegan Bradley, my guy.
No, you can have Keegan. You know who I'm going to take?
Who?
Hideki Matsuyama. I will take Hideki Matsuyama. There we go. 10-pack, and that's it. Let's not get silly.
Okay, I got
Let's
Keegan.
not get ridiculous.
My boy, Scotty Vail. He's going to get it done,
here.
U.S. Open.
Right? These are real, legitimate. I think there's a lot of analysis behind it. Like, of course, you got to take the chalk. You got to go with some big boys. Like there's guys like Sahith Theegala, who I always like, but I don't think he wins. Sammy Burns hasn't had a good year. He missed the cut last week.
I'll take Sahith. You take Sammy Burns?
Done. Take it.
Yes.
11 pack. It's the U.S. Open. Come on.
Hold on, Burns.
We got to do it.
Who's taking Burns?
I got Burnsy. He's got Sahith. Okay? Sahith Theegala. First time major winners. It happens a lot at the U.S. Open. PGA Picks brought to you by TaylorMade, introducing the all-new TaylorMade Stealth 2, Stealth 2 Plus, and Stealth 2 HD Carbon Woods, designed with more carbon for more forgiveness. Learn more at TaylorMadeGolf.ca. All right? Come back with our best bets. Look ahead to Game 5 of the Cup Final. Game 1, Jays Orioles tonight. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 2. A lot of people are doing the chat GPT, asking for what's up with OverDrive, like a review of OverDrive. And it's useless. It's not, it's saying I have no opinion. I'm just an AI model. And it's Hayes, Noodles, go check it out for yourself. That's the gist of it. Go listen for yourself and figure it out.
I joined it, and sniffed around on it, but it's kind of neat. I mean, it is the future, and these big companies are just
all in
developing.
On that.
Yeah, big time. So
got to have the personality though. You still got to have you got to have people out there. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
It's like it's feeling more and more like the Terminator every single day. It's scaring me.
No kidding.
I agree. Today's
best bets brought to you by FanDuel. Bet on all your favorite teams on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. We're going to have a little SGP for the U.S. Open. Scheffler top 10, Homa top 30, Fowler top 40. All right, that's our SGP. I like all 3 of those.
Oh, you're buying in on Rick Fowler now.
Rick Fowler is a top 40. Yeah, I just picked him, and I wouldn't be shocked if Rick Fowler was in contention on the weekend. Wouldn't be shocked at all. He's been lurking a lot this year, legitimately lurking. He's a lurker. Today's best bets brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more and get your winnings fast when you download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today. All right, so we got a parade on Thursday, reluctantly on Thursday.
Serbian horses on Saturday.
Yeah, Serbian horses on the weekend, and Jokic will likely be there, and possibly a parade in Vegas. At some point in the next.
What do you think? What are you guys thinking? Do they get it done tonight?
I do. Like I said, I thought 3-1, 4-1 empty net, maybe 4-2, maybe. I like a low scoring, grind it out.
Just think of that closeout game against Dallas where they just stomped on them. Their best players, their arms are falling off for Florida, and it ain't just Kachuk.
No, they're all
they're banged up, man.
Yeah, because they've been playing for keeps. They're trying to get physical. They're trying to drag Vegas in. They just can't do it. Like we talked about Sam Bennett earlier. Sam Bennett has been a complete non-factor in this series. And Kachuk, outside of the big goal in Game 4, really, or Game 3, I guess, hasn't done much either. So. Yeah, we'll see. I'm leaning Vegas. And then if that happens, you roll over and it's go time in the offseason. And, the next month or so will be crazy.
I think it'll be a crazy month. They promise it to us, the insiders, every year, but I think it will be crazy with the guys that might change hands.
I agree. I think it's going to be crazy on but this is the first time that, you've had a manager change now here in Toronto. They've got 10 unrestricted free agents. You've got a contract for Austin Matthews. You've got a new manager here that is still getting the lay of the land. You've got Winnipeg with 3 guys that are saying basically, 2 for sure, Hellebuck and Pierre-Luc Dubois. And then you've got to do something with Scheifele, who's 29 and needs a contract a year out. So that's going to be a massive retool. Same thing with, and Johnny was pointing it out, in Calgary. Calgary's got 3 of their top guys that are a year away from their deal. And Craig Conroy, one of the things in his presser said, we learned from the Johnny Gaudreau scenario. We don't want this to get ugly and, have somebody walk. So I think it for Canadian content, and that's not even talking about what's Vancouver going to do. Like what's the direction that organization's going to go? And Edmonton, what are they going to do? They've got to continue to try and add to that team to get better. So Ottawa, new owners, what are they going to do?
Yeah, the new owner, Michael Andlauer. We haven't really talked about that. I don't know enough about him, but
he's a great guy, man.
Yeah,
he's a great guy. All I know is just like a friendship. He used to be I was a member at the same golf courses. He's just a really nice guy. Super rich, super cool.
I've heard he's awesome. And that's good for the city of Ottawa. That's good for him getting involved. It's going to provide some stability there, with the uncertainty with, Eugene Melnyk passing away. There's been a lot of uncertainty there. So, he's stepping in, deep pockets, quality person. That's good for that organization.
Yeah, exactly. And it felt like it was kind of going off the rails, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's done,
Yeah.
And you got a new owner stepping in, and that's not going to have an immediate impact on what they do on the ice, but it very well could have an immediate impact on how they operate, right? Yeah. In terms of what happens all the way up and down the roster, all the way up and down, the front office, coaching staff, all that kind of stuff. That is now done, and I guess we now wait to see what's going to happen with the rink in Ottawa. Does that become a priority? I would assume it likely will be for the new owner. But, it's, there's just one more added element. You're right. It's not – there's a lot of – we're talking only Canada. There's a lot of teams down in the States also, clearly. There's going to be turnover. You got new front offices all over the league, new coaches all over the league.
Yeah.
Barry Trotz is the GM now down in Nashville. What's he going to do?
Well, I was reading a piece yesterday about UC Saros' future there. Are they, what are they going to do with that team? Man, if he was available, God, that guy's good.
That's what I'm saying. You get a couple of big goalies available. I can't imagine Trotz would go down that road, but you never know.
Well, they've got that kid that they drafted 11th, Askarov.
Right, the Russian Carey Price for the last 7 years.
Is he finally going to make it?
I don't know, but he every time I watch him, he gets pulled or he's a very good goaltender. I've just had bad luck watching him. I feel bad, because he's a really good goalie, but I just haven't watched him play great hockey yet.
It'll happen at some point. I'm sure you'll place eyes on a winning product at some point. All right, good stuff. So you got the U.S. Open this week. We got Game 5 of the Cup Final. Jay's in Baltimore tonight. Chris Bassett on the mound. So Jay's looking to make some action happen here. They're looking to really track down Baltimore. They got a big one this week down at Camden Yards. So enjoy that. Enjoy the hockey game tonight, the U.S. Open. It's going to be a fun one. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at
Bienvenue, Hazy B, 4 p.m.
We'll chat then.